What if I told you the FBI assassinated a 21-year-old black man while he slept next to his pregnant girlfriend? What if I told you they drugged him first, then shot him in the head twice at point-blank range? What if I told you his own bodyguard was the one who betrayed him for $300 a month? December 4th, 1969, 4:45 in the morning, 2037 West Monroe Street, Chicago, Illinois. Fred Hampton is sleeping. He's 21 years old, chairman of the Illinois Black Panther Party, the most dangerous man in America according to the FBI. But right now he's just a young man asleep in his bed. Next to him lies Deborah Johnson, 8 months pregnant with his son. She'll later change her name to Aqua and Jerry. But tonight, she's just a young woman sleeping beside the man she loves. 14 Chicago police officers surround the apartment building. They're not in uniform. They're dressed in street clothes. They're carrying shotguns, M1 carbine rifles, .38 caliber handguns, and a Thompson submachine gun. This isn't a police visit. This is a military operation. They have a floor plan of the apartment. They know exactly where Fred sleeps. They know which room is his. They know where his bed is positioned. They have keys to the front door. No need to knock. No need to announce. No need to give anyone a chance to surrender. 4:45 a.m. Still dark outside. The whole building is sleeping. The officers enter the apartment silently. Mark Clark, a 22-year-old Black Panther from Peoria, is sitting guard in the front room. He's got a rifle across his lap. He's the security for the night. He's trying to stay awake, but exhaustion is winning. The door bursts open. Mark Clark jerks awake. His rifle discharges once, probably a reflex, probably involuntary. He doesn't get a second shot. The police open fire. Over 90 rounds in less than 10 minutes. Mark Clark dies instantly. Shot multiple times. He slumps over, still holding his rifle. That single shot from his weapon will be the only gunfire from the Panthers this entire raid. Remember that number. 1 shot from the Panthers. Over 90 from the police. The gunfire is deafening. It sounds like a war zone. Bullets rip through walls, through doors, through furniture. The 7 other Panthers sleeping in the apartment wake up to chaos and death. Brenda Harris, 19 years old. Verlena Brewer, 17. Blair Anderson, 18. Ronald Satchel, 18. They're all hit. They're all wounded. They're screaming. They're trying to surrender. The police keep shooting. In the back bedroom, Fred Hampton doesn't move. Deborah Johnson shakes him. She's screaming his name. Fred. Fred. Wake up. They're shooting. We have to go. He barely stirs. His words are slurred. He's drugged. Heavily drugged. He can't wake up fully. He can't defend himself. He can't run. He can't even stand. 2 officers enter the bedroom. They see Fred Hampton lying there, unconscious, unarmed, helpless. They shoot him twice in the head. Point-blank range, execution style. 1 officer reportedly says he's good and dead now. Deborah Johnson is covered in Fred's blood. She's 8 months pregnant. She's watching the father of her unborn child murdered in front of her eyes. She's dragged out of the room, arrested, charged later with assault on police officers. What happened in the next hour would be called a shootout by every newspaper in Chicago. But the evidence tells a different story. This wasn't a gunfight. This was an execution. This was FBI-sanctioned murder. And for 50 years, they called it justified. Until now. Everything you were told about Fred Hampton's death was a lie. They called it a shootout. The evidence proves it was an assassination. They said Panthers fired first and fired often. Ballistics showed 99 shots from police, 1 shot from Panthers. They said it was justified self-defense. Documents proved it was premeditated murder, planned weeks in advance. After this video, you'll understand why the FBI fears young black leaders more than they fear armed white militias. You'll understand why they infiltrate every black liberation movement before it gains real power. You'll understand why black revolutionary leaders always end up dead or in prison. Always. This isn't ancient history. Fred Hampton was 21 years old when they murdered him. If he had lived, he'd be 76 today. Your age, your parents' age, your grandparents' age. He could have been your father, your grandfather, your uncle. But they killed him before he turned 22. They killed him before he could see his son born. They killed him before he could finish what he started. Your ancestors weren't just killed by lynch mobs in Mississippi. They were assassinated by the FBI in Chicago, in government-sanctioned operations, with taxpayer money, with full legal immunity. This is your stolen leader. This is your murdered prophet. This is your unfinished revolution. By the end of this video, you'll know why a 21-year-old college student scared the FBI more than any terrorist organization. You'll know how they infiltrated his inner circle, drugged him, and murdered him in his sleep. You'll know why his Rainbow Coalition was considered the most dangerous political movement in American history. You'll know how COINTELPRO assassinated dozens of black leaders using the same playbook. And you'll know why police brutality today is Fred Hampton's unfinished business. You'll also understand why they erased him from every history textbook, why your teachers never mentioned his name, why your parents might not even know who he was. They buried Fred Hampton twice, once in the ground, once in the history books. But truth doesn't stay buried forever. This is the story they don't want you to know. This explains why your family struggles financially, while white families who did less have generational wealth. This explains why police patrol your neighborhoods like occupying armies. This explains why every time black people organize for real change, leaders start dying mysteriously. And listen carefully to this part. This isn't just about what happened in 1969. This is about what's happening right now in 2024. The tactics they used on Fred Hampton, they're using on Black Lives Matter organizers today. The infiltration, the surveillance, the mysterious deaths, the same playbook, just updated technology. If you've ever wondered why black liberation movements always seem to fall apart right when they're getting powerful, you're about to find out. If you've ever questioned why every black revolutionary leader ends up dead or imprisoned, you're about to understand. If you've ever felt like the system is designed to keep black people powerless, you're about to see the blueprint. Your grandmother lived through this. Your grandfather survived this era. They watched young black leaders get assassinated on TV and in newspapers. They watched the government kill their prophets. They watched and they learned to be quiet, to stay safe, to not make waves. That survival strategy kept them alive, but it also kept us oppressed. Today you're going to learn what they learned, but you're going to do something different with that knowledge. You're not going to be quiet. You're going to be dangerous. Dangerous with truth. Dangerous with knowledge. Dangerous with organizing power. Let's begin. Fred Hampton wasn't born a revolutionary. He was born into a working-class black family that believed in the American dream. August 30th, 1948, Summit, Illinois, a suburb just outside Chicago. His father, Francis Allen Hampton, worked in a factory. His mother, Iberia Hampton, was a homemaker. They went to church every Sunday. They taught Fred the Bible. They taught him to work hard. They taught him to respect authority. They believed if you did everything right, America would treat you fairly. Fred believed them at first. He was a good kid, smart, charismatic, natural leader even as a child. He made friends easily. He got good grades. He played sports. He did everything a young black boy was supposed to do to succeed in America. But he also had eyes. He could see his neighborhood had no resources, while white neighborhoods 5 miles away had everything. He could see his schools had old textbooks and broken desks, while white schools had new everything. He could see police treated black people like criminals and white people like citizens. He could see the American dream his parents believed in was a lie for black people. By 16 years old, Fred was done waiting for America to treat him fairly. He joined the NAACP Youth Council. The NAACP was the respectable civil rights organization. Peaceful, patient, working within the system. But even there, Fred was too radical, too bold, too unwilling to beg. By 18, Fred was leading the Maywood NAACP chapter. He had over 500 young people following him. 500. At 18 years old. Think about that. What were you doing at 18? Fred Hampton was leading hundreds of young black people in organized political action. His first major campaign was simple. The black neighborhood in Maywood had no swimming pool. The white neighborhood had two. In the summer, black kids had nowhere to go. White kids had pools, parks, recreation centers. Fred organized protests. He negotiated with city officials. He mobilized the community, and he won. The city built a pool in the black neighborhood. That victory taught him something crucial. Organizing works. Pressure works. When you mobilize people and make demands, the system responds. Not because they want to, because they have to. But it also taught him the limits of the NAACP's approach. It took months of negotiating and begging to get one swimming pool. Meanwhile, black people across America were being murdered by police. Black families were being evicted from their homes. Black workers were being paid poverty wages. A swimming pool was nice, but it wasn't liberation. April 4th, 1968. Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. Fred Hampton is 19 years old. He watches the news like millions of other black Americans. He sees the grief, the rage, the riots burning cities across America. He sees white America's response. Not mourning, not reflection, not justice. Just more police, more violence, more oppression. Something breaks inside Fred Hampton that day. Or maybe something awakens. The peaceful approach got Martin Luther King Jr. murdered on a hotel balcony. The respectable approach got him a bullet in the face. The patient approach got him killed at 39 years old. Fred makes a decision. If they're going to kill us anyway, we might as well die fighting for something real. Not integration into a burning house. Not a seat at a table built on stolen land. But actual liberation, economic justice, political power, revolutionary change. November 1968. Fred Hampton joins the Black Panther Party. He's 20 years old. Within weeks, he's deputy chairman of the Illinois chapter. Within months, he's chairman. The youngest major Black Panther leader in America. The Black Panthers weren't like the NAACP. They didn't believe in begging. They didn't believe in patience. They believed in armed self-defense. They believed in serving the people. They believed in revolution. And they scared white America more than any organization since Nat Turner's rebellion. But here's what they don't teach you about the Black Panthers. They weren't just militants with guns. They were organizers. They were community servants. They were building an alternative system because the American system was designed to kill them. Fred Hampton didn't just give speeches. He worked 20-hour days, every single day, building programs that the government refused to provide. The free breakfast program. Every morning, hundreds of black children showed up to Panther offices and churches. They got hot meals before school. Eggs, bacon grits, toast orange juice, all free. Cooked and served by Black Panthers. No questions asked. No means testing. No bureaucracy. Just hungry children getting fed. Why does this matter? Because hungry children can't learn. Because the government wasn't feeding these kids. Because black families were so poor from centuries of oppression that many couldn't afford breakfast. So Fred built an alternative. He proved the government was unnecessary, that communities could take care of themselves. J. Edgar Hoover, director of the FBI, called the free breakfast program the greatest threat to national security. Not terrorism, not foreign enemies, not actual violence. Feeding hungry black children. Why? Because fed children learn. Educated children think. Thinking children question. And questioning children become revolutionaries. Fred also organized free medical clinics. Black neighborhoods had no hospitals. Black people couldn't afford doctors. Preventable diseases were killing black folks because healthcare was inaccessible. So Fred mobilized volunteer doctors and nurses. They provided sickle cell testing, prenatal care, basic medicine, all free, all in the community. He organized free legal aid. Black people were being railroaded into prisons, given public defenders who didn't care, sentenced to decades for crimes white people got probation for. Fred brought in volunteer lawyers. They fought cases. They educated people on their rights. They reduced the prison pipeline. He organized political education classes, teaching black history that schools erased, teaching economic theory, teaching revolutionary politics, teaching people that their poverty wasn't their fault, that the system was designed to keep them poor. That liberation required overthrowing that system. But Fred's most dangerous accomplishment was the Rainbow Coalition. This is what got him killed more than anything else. This is what the FBI could not tolerate. Chicago in 1968 was a war zone of racial division. Black people hated white people. White people feared black people. Puerto Ricans and Mexicans were caught in the middle. The city was segregated, violent, divided. And those in power wanted it that way. Because divided people don't organize. Divided people fight each other instead of fighting the system. Fred Hampton looked at this division and saw the solution. Poor black people in the South Side. Poor Puerto Ricans in Humboldt Park. Poor white people from Appalachia in Uptown. They were all suffering. They were all exploited. They were all oppressed by the same capitalist system. If they united, they'd be unstoppable. So Fred did the impossible. He brought them together. He reached out to the Young Lords, a Puerto Rican organization fighting for Latino rights. He sat down with their leaders. He said, "Your fight is our fight. Police brutality against Latinos is the same as police brutality against blacks. Poverty in Humboldt Park is the same as poverty in the South Side. We're not enemies. We're allies." Then he did something even more shocking. He reached out to the Young Patriots organization. These were poor white people from Appalachia who moved to Chicago looking for work. They were the same folks who wore Confederate flags, who had been taught to hate black people, who had been told that blacks were taking their jobs. Fred sat down with them. He didn't lecture them about racism. He talked economics. He said, "You're poor because the bosses pay you poverty wages, not because black people are taking your jobs. You have no health care because the government serves the rich, not because black people are getting welfare. You're suffering because of capitalism and classism, not because of black people." And it worked. Poor white boys from Appalachia, wearing Confederate flag patches, marched alongside Black Panthers. Puerto Rican Young Lords stood shoulder to shoulder with former gang members Fred had organized. This was the Rainbow Coalition. Black, brown, and white poor people united for economic justice. This was the FBI's worst nightmare. Because if poor people across racial lines unite against the capitalist class, the whole system falls. The entire power structure depends on racial division, depends on poor whites blaming poor blacks, depends on everyone fighting each other instead of fighting up. Fred Hampton broke that. At 20 years old, he proved it was possible. He showed that racial division was a tool of oppression, not a natural reality. He built a multiracial coalition that demanded jobs, housing, healthcare, and education for all poor people. That alone was a death sentence. Fred also did something that terrified the Chicago power structure. He negotiated a peace treaty among the city's most violent street gangs, the Blackstone Rangers, the Vice Lords, the Disciples. These gangs were killing each other daily. Hundreds of young black men dead every year. Black youth destroying black youth. The city didn't care. Police didn't intervene. The violence kept black neighborhoods destabilized and powerless. Fred saw this as another divide-and-conquer tactic. These weren't criminals. These were young men with no jobs, no education, no opportunities. The system pushed them into gangs. Then the system let them kill each other. It was genocide by proxy. Fred met with gang leaders. He said, "You're killing each other, while police kill all of us. You're fighting over street corners, while white corporations own the whole city. You have power. You have organization. You have loyalty. What if you redirected that energy toward liberation instead of self-destruction?" It worked. Fred negotiated a truce. The violence dropped dramatically. But more importantly, Fred started recruiting gang members into the Black Panthers. Former gang leaders became political organizers. Former shooters became community servants. The most dangerous men in Chicago became the most dangerous threat to white supremacy. The Chicago Police Department watched in horror. For years, gang violence had kept black communities weak and divided. Now, Fred Hampton was turning gang members into revolutionaries, turning criminals into activists, turning the most violent men in the city into the most organized political force. So let's be clear about why Fred Hampton was targeted. It wasn't because he was violent. The FBI memo that marked him for neutralization specifically noted that he was too effective at organizing, too good at building coalitions, too successful at uniting people across racial lines, too dangerous because he was making revolution possible. March 1968. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover sends a memo to FBI field offices across America. The subject is the Black Nationalist Hate Group's Counterintelligence Program, COINTELPRO for short. The memo lists goals: prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups, prevent the rise of a black messiah who could unify and electrify the black nationalist movement, prevent black militant groups from gaining respectability. The memo lists potential messiahs: Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, Elijah Muhammad, and Fred Hampton. Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated 1 month after this memo. April 4, 1968. Official story: lone gunman James Earl Ray. Evidence suggests a broader conspiracy that's never been fully investigated. Malcolm X was already dead. Assassinated February 21, 1965. Official story: killed by Nation of Islam members. Evidence shows FBI and NYPD infiltrated both organizations and deliberately created the conflict that led to his murder. By 1969, Fred Hampton becomes the primary target. He's 20 years old. He's building the Rainbow Coalition. He's feeding thousands of children. He's providing health care. He's uniting gangs. He's organizing across racial lines. He checks every box on the FBI's Messiah list. He has to be neutralized. The FBI assigns Special Agent Roy Mitchell to the case. His job is simple: destroy Fred Hampton by any means necessary. Mitchell recruits an informant, William O'Neill, 17 years old, black kid from Chicago, arrested for car theft and impersonating a police officer, facing serious prison time. Mitchell offers him a deal: go to prison or infiltrate the Black Panthers and report back to us. O'Neill chooses betrayal. He's paid $300 a month, about $2,500 in today's money. The price of Fred Hampton's life. O'Neill joins the Chicago Black Panthers in 1968. He's smart, dedicated, charismatic. He rises quickly through the ranks. He volunteers for everything. He works hard. He gains trust. By 1969, he's Fred Hampton's head of security. He's the bodyguard, the person Fred trusts most to keep him safe. Everything O'Neill learns, he reports to Agent Mitchell. Every meeting, every plan, every location, every person. He's feeding the FBI real-time intelligence on the Black Panthers. He's a spy in the most sensitive position possible. In November 1969, O'Neill provides Agent Mitchell with detailed floor plans of Fred Hampton's apartment at 2337 West Monroe Street. He draws the layout. He marks where each person sleeps. He puts an X on Fred Hampton's bed. He tells them exactly where to shoot. The FBI shares this information with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. They create a plan, a pre-dawn raid. They'll claim they're looking for illegal weapons. They'll burst in while everyone's sleeping. They'll make sure Fred Hampton doesn't survive. December 3rd, 1969, the night before the raid. William O'Neill cooks dinner for the Panthers at the apartment. He makes Fred Hampton's favorite drink, and he puts secobarbital in it, a powerful barbiturate, a sedative used to put people into deep unconscious sleep. He gives Fred enough to ensure he won't wake up, even during a violent raid. Enough to ensure he can't defend himself. Enough to ensure the execution will be easy. Fred drinks it. He starts feeling tired earlier than usual. He goes to bed around midnight. He falls into a drugged sleep. Deep. Heavy. The kind of sleep you can't wake up from. 4:45 a.m. The raid happens. You already know what happened. 99 shots from police. 1 shot from Panthers. Mark Clark dead. Fred Hampton executed in his bed. Deborah Johnson traumatized for life. But here's what happened after. This is where the cover-up begins. This is where you see the full scope of the conspiracy. Hours later, Edward Hanrahan, Cook County State's attorney, holds a press conference. He stands in front of cameras and lies to the entire city. He says there was a fierce gun battle. He says Panthers opened fire first. He says his officers returned fire in self-defense. He says it was a tragedy, but justified. He praises his officers for bravery under fire. Every newspaper in Chicago prints his version. The Chicago Tribune headline reads, "Panther leader slain in gun battle." The Sun-Times says police Panthers in wild shootout. The Daily News reports 2 Panthers killed in raid. Every story quotes Hanrahan uncritically. Every story accepts the police narrative without question. Every story blames the Panthers. The 7 surviving Panthers are arrested, charged with attempted murder of police officers, armed violence, aggravated battery. The system is trying to send them to prison for being victims of an assassination attempt, but some people don't believe the official story. The black community knows what happened. They've seen this before. They know how police operate. They demand answers. Attorneys for the Panthers gain access to the apartment. What they find destroys the police narrative completely. They count bullet holes. 99 going into the apartment. 1 going out. That's not a gun battle. That's a massacre. They find Fred Hampton's mattress soaked in blood. They find bullet holes in the wall right where his head was. They find evidence of execution, not combat. They demand an autopsy. The toxicology report shows Fred Hampton had lethal levels of secobarbital in his system. He was unconscious when he was killed. He couldn't have fired a weapon. He couldn't have fought back. He was drugged and executed. Ballistics experts examine Mark Clark's rifle. It fired once. The angle and trajectory suggest it was a reflexive discharge when he was shot, not aimed fire. He didn't shoot at police. His dying muscle spasm pulled the trigger as he was murdered. The evidence is overwhelming. This was a planned assassination. The police lied. The state's attorney lied. The FBI orchestrated it. This was murder. The charges against the surviving Panthers are quietly dropped. The prosecutors know they can't win. The evidence proves the Panthers were victims, not aggressors. But no police officers are charged. No FBI agents are arrested. No prosecutors are held accountable. No one is punished. No one is fired. No one faces consequences. In 1970, a federal grand jury investigates. They review all the evidence. They interview witnesses. They examine the apartment. They read the ballistics reports. They conclude that the police version of events was false. They find evidence of conspiracy. They recommend charges. The Department of Justice declines to prosecute. Insufficient evidence, they claim. Insufficient. There are 99 bullet holes from police guns, There's a drugged victim executed in his bed. There's a floor plan drawn by an FBI informant marking the target. What more evidence do they need? The families of Fred Hampton and Mark Clark file a civil lawsuit in 1970. They sue the FBI, the Chicago Police Department, and the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. They claim wrongful death, conspiracy to deprive civil rights, murder under color of law. The government fights the lawsuit for 12 years. 12 years of legal delays. 12 years of motions to dismiss. 12 years of evidence suppression. 12 years of trying to prevent the truth from coming out. In 1973, attorneys make a breakthrough. They discover that William O'Neill was an FBI informant. They find documents showing he was paid by Agent Mitchell. They find the floor plans he drew. They find proof that the FBI orchestrated the raid. This changes everything. Now it's not just police misconduct. It's a federal conspiracy. It's COINTELPRO. It's government-sanctioned assassination. In 1982, 13 years after Fred Hampton's murder, the case finally goes to settlement. The jury is about to rule. The evidence is so overwhelming that the government knows they'll lose. So they settle. $1.85 million paid by the city of Chicago, Cook County, and the federal government. Split among the families of Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. $1.85 million. That's what the government valued Fred Hampton's life at. A 21-year-old revolutionary who fed thousands of children, provided free healthcare, organized peace among gangs, and built a multiracial coalition. $1.85 million, less than $2 million. But the settlement was an admission. The government paid because they knew they were guilty. They paid because the evidence proved conspiracy. They paid because they assassinated Fred Hampton, and they couldn't hide it anymore. William O'Neill lived with what he did. In 1989, he appeared in the documentary Eyes on the Prize. He admitted his role. He admitted drugging Fred Hampton. He admitted drawing the floor plans. He admitted betraying the man who trusted him most. He showed no remorse on camera. He said he was just following orders, just doing his job, just surviving. But something ate at him. Maybe guilt, maybe fear. Maybe the weight of knowing he helped murder a prophet. January 15, 1990, William O'Neill runs into traffic on Interstate 290 in Chicago. Multiple cars hit him. He dies on the highway. Official ruling is suicide. Some say it was guilt. Some say it was fear that the truth was coming out. Some say maybe it wasn't suicide at all. Maybe the FBI ties up loose ends. Fred Hampton Jr. is born 1 month after his father's assassination, January 1970. He never meets his father, never hears his voice except in recordings, never feels his embrace, never gets his guidance. He grows up knowing his father was murdered by the government before he could see his son. Fred Jr. spends his life continuing his father's work, fighting for prisoners' rights, organizing against police brutality, demanding justice, keeping his father's name alive. He's still doing that work today in 2024, 54 years old, still fighting the same system that killed his father. Now let me show you something that will shatter any belief that Fred Hampton was an isolated incident. Let me prove to you that this was systematic, that this was policy, that this was the standard operating procedure for how America deals with Black liberation movements. COINTELPRO didn't just target Fred Hampton. It targeted every major Black leader and organization from 1956 to 1971. The FBI's own documents released after lawsuits and Freedom of Information Act requests prove this was a coordinated program to destroy Black political power by any means necessary. Martin Luther King Jr., the most famous civil rights leader in American history. The man white America now celebrates with a national holiday. The FBI tried to drive him to suicide, November 1964. The FBI sends Martin Luther King an anonymous letter It's accompanied by a package containing recordings of King's extramarital affairs. The letter tells King he has 34 days to kill himself before the FBI releases the tapes and destroys his reputation. The letter says you are done. There is only one way out for you. It better be before your filthy, abnormal, fraudulent self is bared to the nation. Think about that. The FBI literally tried to blackmail Martin Luther King Jr. into committing suicide. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is documented fact. The letter exists. The recordings exist. The FBI admits they did this. King didn't kill himself. So they kept escalating. They tapped his phones. They bugged his hotel rooms. They sent anonymous letters to his wife trying to break up his marriage. They sent letters to newspapers trying to destroy his reputation. They worked with local police to harass him. They did everything possible to neutralize him, short of direct assassination. April 4th, 1968. Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. James Earl Ray is arrested and convicted. He claims he was set up. He claims there was a broader conspiracy. He spends the rest of his life trying to get a trial where he can present evidence. He never gets one. He dies in prison still claiming innocence. King's family believes James Earl Ray didn't act alone. In 1999, they win a civil lawsuit, proving there was a conspiracy involving government agencies. The jury rules in their favor, but the mainstream media barely covers it. The official narrative remains lone gunman. The evidence of government involvement is buried. Malcolm X. Assassinated February 21st, 1965. Official story says he was killed by members of the Nation of Islam in a factional dispute. That's technically true, but it's not the whole truth. The FBI and NYPD had infiltrated both the Nation of Islam and Malcolm's Organization of Afro-American Unity. They had informants in both groups. They deliberately created conflicts between Malcolm and the Nation. They sent fake letters. They spread rumors. They made Malcolm believe the Nation was going to kill him. They made the Nation believe Malcolm was betraying them. On the day of Malcolm's assassination, his usual security detail was missing. Police who normally covered his events weren't there. The doors to the Audubon Ballroom where he spoke were left unguarded. Men with guns walked in freely. They shot Malcolm 21 times. He died in front of his wife and children. 3 men were convicted. All 3 maintained they were innocent. In 2021, 2 of them were exonerated, 56 years after the assassination. The court found that prosecutors hid evidence proving they didn't do it. Evidence that FBI and NYPD informants were present during the shooting. Evidence that the government knew who really killed Malcolm and framed innocent men. Malcolm's family is still fighting for the full truth. They want all FBI and NYPD files declassified. They want to know which government agents were involved. They want to know who gave the orders. They'll probably never get those answers, because the files are still classified as national security. Mark Clark, killed the same day as Fred Hampton. Same raid, same apartment, same FBI operation. But history barely remembers his name. Mark was 22 years old. He led the Peoria, Illinois Black Panther chapter. He was visiting Chicago that night for a meeting. He volunteered to take security duty. He sat in the front room with a rifle to protect his comrades while they slept. He died doing his duty. Shot multiple times before he could even fully wake up. Mark Clark deserves to be remembered alongside Fred Hampton. He was murdered by the same conspiracy. He died for the same cause. But his name is almost never mentioned. Even in discussions of the raid, he's a footnote. Fred Hampton gets the attention. Mark Clark gets erased. That's what happens to martyrs when there are too many to remember. Some get elevated, some get forgotten. But they all died fighting the same fight. Bobby Hutton, 17 years old, the first person to join the Black Panther Party after Huey Newton and Bobby Seale founded it. He was the baby of the organization. Everyone called him Little Bobby. April 6, 1968, 2 days after Martin Luther King's assassination, Oakland, California. Bobby Hutton and Eldridge Cleaver are involved in a shootout with police. The details are disputed. Panthers say police ambushed them. Police say Panthers fired first. The shooting ends. Bobby Hutton surrenders. He walks out of the building with his hands up. He's unarmed. He's 17 years old. He's scared. He's complying. Oakland police shoot him 12 times. 12 times. He's surrendering, and they shoot him 12 times. They claim he was trying to run. Witnesses say he was walking slowly with his hands up. They claim they feared for their lives. He was 17, unarmed, surrendering. No officers were charged. They said it was justified. They said they thought he had a weapon. They said they felt threatened by a 17-year-old kid with his hands up. Bobby Hutton's murder happened before COINTELPRO fully ramped up. It showed the FBI and police that they could kill Black Panthers with impunity. No charges, no consequences, no accountability. It was a green light for more killings. Bunchy Carter and John Huggins. January 17, 1969. UCLA campus. Los Angeles, California. Both were Black Panther leaders. Both shot and killed in a meeting. The shooters were members of a rival black nationalist group called U.S. Organization. But FBI documents later revealed show that COINTELPRO had infiltrated both groups, that FBI agents deliberately created conflict between the Panthers and U.S. Organization, that they sent fake threatening letters, that they spread rumors, that they provoked the violence that led to these murders. The FBI didn't pull the trigger, but they loaded the gun. They created the conditions. They made sure the conflict would turn lethal. Then they watched 2 Panther leaders die and called it gang violence between radical groups. This is a key COINTELPRO tactic. You don't always assassinate directly. Sometimes you create conditions where your targets kill each other. It's cleaner, less suspicious, and just as effective. George Jackson, August 24, 1971, San Quentin Prison, California. George was a Black Panther. He was also a prison activist and author. His book, Soledad Brother, became a bestseller. He was radicalizing prisoners, teaching them revolutionary politics, organizing them. The official story says George tried to escape, says he pulled out a gun and shot at guards, says guards shot him dead in the prison yard. The problems with this story are numerous. Where did he get a gun in maximum security prison? How did he get it past multiple searches? Why would he try to escape 3 days before a scheduled court hearing that might free him? The evidence doesn't add up. Many believe George Jackson was assassinated, that guards murdered him and called it an escape attempt, that COINTELPRO targeted him because he was turning prisons into revolutionary training grounds, that his death was meant to send a message to other political prisoners. No investigation ever answered the questions. The official story stands. George Jackson tried to escape and was killed. Case closed. Assata Shakur. She's still alive, so her story is different, but it shows the same pattern. Assata was a Black Panther, and later, a member of the Black Liberation Army. May 2, 1973. She and 2 companions are stopped on the New Jersey Turnpike. A shootout occurs. 1 state trooper dies. One of Assata's companions, Zaid Malik Shakur, dies. Assata is wounded and captured. She's charged with murder. The evidence against her is weak. Multiple witnesses say she had her hands up and was shot. Medical evidence shows she couldn't have fired a weapon from the position she was in, but she's convicted anyway. Sentenced to life in prison. In 1979, she escapes from prison. In 1984, she gains asylum in Cuba. She's been living there ever since. The FBI has a $2 million bounty on her. They want her back. Not for justice, for revenge, for daring to escape. for daring to survive when so many others were killed. Assata Shakur is one of the few COINTELPRO targets who survived and escaped. Most weren't so lucky. Now let me show you the most horrific example. May 13th, 1985, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The MOVE bombing. MOVE was a Black liberation organization. They lived communally. They were radical environmentalists and anarchists. They had conflicts with neighbors over noise and sanitation. Philadelphia police wanted them gone. May 13th, 1985. Philadelphia police surround the MOVE house. Over 500 officers. SWAT teams. They want to evict MOVE members and arrest them for weapons violations and contempt of court. MOVE refuses to leave. A standoff begins. Then police make a decision that's almost unbelievable. They drop a bomb on the house, a bomb from a helicopter, on a residential neighborhood in an American city. The bomb contains C4 explosives and Tovex. It's a military-grade weapon. They drop it on the roof of the MOVE house. The house catches fire. Police are ordered to let the fire burn. They want to force MOVE members out. But the fire spreads. It consumes the MOVE house. Then it spreads to neighboring houses. Then to the whole block. 61 homes burn to the ground. 250 people are left homeless. 11. MOVE members die in the fire. 5 of them are children. The youngest is 13 years old. Police later say they heard gunfire from the burning building. They claim MOVE members were shooting. So they let the fire burn. Let 11 people die. 5 of them children. No police officers were charged. No city officials were prosecuted. The mayor at the time, Wilson Good, faced criticism but stayed in office. The police commissioner, Gregor Sambor, resigned but faced no charges. An investigation later determined that the decision to drop the bomb and let the fire burn was unconscionable. But unconscionable isn't illegal, apparently. No one went to jail for killing 11 people, including 5 children. This happened in 1985, not the 1960s. Not during the height of COINTELPRO. In 1985. Shows you the tactics didn't end when COINTELPRO officially ended in 1971. They just stopped calling it COINTELPRO. Do you see the pattern now? Every time Black people organize for liberation, the government infiltrates. Every time we build power, they destroy it. Every time we develop strong leaders, they kill them. Every time we create movements, they sabotage them. This wasn't random. This wasn't isolated incidents. This wasn't a few rogue cops or agents. This was policy. FBI policy. Police policy. Government policy. From 1956 to 1971, COINTELPRO targeted civil rights and Black liberation organizations. After 1971, when COINTELPRO was officially discontinued, the tactics continued. Just under different names, different programs, same goals. The targets weren't criminals. They were prophets. They were 21-year-old college students feeding children. They were 17-year-old kids believing in revolution. They were war veterans fighting for their people. They were mothers protecting their communities. They were writers educating prisoners. They were organizers building coalitions. And the government killed them all, systematically. Nationally, with full legal immunity, with taxpayer money, with media cooperation, with historical erasure. Fred Hampton was the blueprint, the perfect execution. Infiltrate the organization, drug the target, kill him in his sleep, lie about it in the media, charge the survivors, let the killers walk free, bury the truth for decades. They used that blueprint on dozens of Black leaders. And when they couldn't kill them directly, they imprisoned them. Or they created conditions where they killed each other. Or they drove them into exile. Or they destroyed their organization so thoroughly that the leaders became powerless. This is why every Black liberation movement in American history has failed to achieve full liberation. Not because black people didn't fight hard enough, not because the movements weren't organized enough, but because the government systematically assassinated every leader and destroyed every organization that got close to real power. And it continues today. Hold that thought, because what I'm about to show you will connect 1969 directly to 2024. The same tactics, the same targets, the same system, just upgraded for the digital age. They didn't just kill Fred Hampton and walk away. They covered it up. They made sure you would never know the truth. They destroyed evidence. They manipulated the legal system. They erased him from textbooks. They controlled the narrative. And that cover-up continues today, 55 years later. Let me show you exactly how they did it. Within hours of murdering Fred Hampton, police sealed the apartment. They called it a crime scene. But they didn't preserve evidence. They destroyed it. Blood was cleaned from walls before independent investigators could arrive. Bullet holes were plastered over. Furniture was removed. The floor plan was altered. By the time the family's attorneys got access, critical evidence was gone. Think about what that blood spatter analysis would have shown. Fred Hampton lying in bed when he was shot. Execution position. Not standing. Not fighting. Not shooting. The blood pattern would have proven he was unconscious. Would have proven he was murdered in his sleep. So they cleaned it up. Erased it. Made sure no jury would ever see it. The bullet trajectory analysis would have been damning too. 99 bullets fired into the apartment, into bedrooms where people were sleeping, through walls, through doors, through furniture. The trajectories would have proven this wasn't a shootout. This was an execution squad firing into sleeping targets. So they plastered over the holes, made repairs, destroyed the evidence. FBI COINTELPRO files on Fred Hampton. Most remain classified today, 55 years after his death. The FBI claims national security. What national security? He's been dead since 1969. What are they protecting? They're not protecting security. They're protecting guilt. Those files would show how high the approval for his assassination went. Was it just Agent Roy Mitchell? Was it the Chicago FBI field office director? Was it J. Edgar Hoover himself personally signing off? We don't know, because they won't release the files. Those files would show how many other Panthers they targeted for assassination, how much money they paid William O'Neill and other informants, what other movements they infiltrated and destroyed. All of it still hidden, still classified, still protected. In 2021, 433 pages were released after a Freedom of Information Act request. Heavily redacted, entire paragraphs blacked out, names removed, dates obscured. They released just enough to say they're being transparent while hiding everything that matters. 490 additional pages about William O'Neill and Agent Mitchell were released. More redactions, more blackouts, more protection of government criminals. They're still hiding the full truth 55 years later. Now let's talk about the legal suppression. Despite overwhelming evidence of murder, no one was charged. Not one police officer, not one FBI agent, not one prosecutor. No arrests, no trials, no convictions, no consequences. The federal grand jury in 1970 investigated. They found that police lied about what happened. They found that the FBI orchestrated the raid. They found evidence of conspiracy to commit murder. They recommended charges. The Department of Justice declined to prosecute. Insufficient evidence. 99 bullet holes from police guns is insufficient evidence, apparently. The families filed a civil lawsuit. It took 12 years to settle. 12 years. The government deployed every legal tactic to delay and obstruct. Motions to dismiss. Appeals. Evidence suppression. Witness intimidation. They fought harder to hide their guilt than they fought to achieve justice. Only when attorneys discovered William O'Neill was an FBI informant did the case gain traction. That was 1973, 3 years after the lawsuit started. Even then, it took 9 more years to reach settlement. The government fought until the evidence became so overwhelming that they knew they'd lose at trial. So they settled, paid money, admitted no wrongdoing officially, and moved on. $1.85 million split among the families. That's what they valued Fred Hampton's life at. Less than $2 million for murdering a prophet, for destroying a movement, for stealing a generation's leader. And the legal doctrines they used to protect themselves remain in place today. Qualified immunity. Police officers can't be sued unless they violate clearly established law. Murdering sleeping panthers apparently wasn't clearly established as illegal in 1969. State secrets privilege. The FBI can hide evidence by claiming national security, even when that evidence proves government crimes, even when justice demands transparency. National security trumps accountability every time. Prosecutorial discretion. Prosecutors choose whether to charge law enforcement. They work with police every day. They depend on police cooperation for every case. So when police commit crimes, prosecutors look the other way. No charges, no accountability. The system protects itself. Now the educational erasure. How many of you learned about Fred Hampton in school? Raise your hand if any teacher ever mentioned his name. I'm guessing almost none of you. They erased him from the textbooks. Deliberately. Systematically. Nationally. Most American history textbooks mention the Black Panthers in one short paragraph. Militant black nationalist group. Advocated armed self-defense. Clashed with police. Declined by the mid-1970s. That's it. Nothing about the free breakfast programs feeding thousands of children daily. Nothing about free medical clinics. Nothing about community education. Nothing about the Rainbow Coalition. And absolutely nothing about why they declined. That would require admitting the FBI assassinated their leaders. Fred Hampton gets one sentence if he's mentioned at all. Black Panther leader killed in police raid 1969. Not assassinated, not murdered, just killed. Like it was an accident. Like it was his fault. Like it was inevitable. Teachers who try to teach the full truth face consequences. Parents complain it's too radical. School boards remove materials. Administrators transfer teachers. The curriculum gets labeled divisive or critical race theory. Politicians pass laws banning teaching that systems are inherently racist. But how do you teach Fred Hampton without explaining systematic racism? You can't. His entire life is a story of fighting systematic oppression. So they erase him, remove him from curriculum, make sure another generation grows up not knowing his name. This is happening right now in 2024. Florida's Stop Woke Act restricts teaching about systemic racism. Texas textbook standards minimize civil rights struggles and police brutality. Multiple states have banned books about black liberation movements. They're still erasing Fred Hampton, still protecting the system that killed him. The media manipulation started immediately. December 4th, 1969. Hours after the raid, every Chicago newspaper printed the police version uncritically. Panther leader slain in gun battle. Police Panthers in wild shootout. 2 Panthers killed in raid. All the headlines blamed the Panthers. All the stories quoted Hanrahan as the only source. None questioned the 99-to-1 bullet ratio. The media portrayed Black Panthers as violent thugs, cop killers, anti-American radicals, criminals with guns. They never showed the children eating breakfast, the elderly getting free medical care, the communities organizing for political power, the multiracial coalitions building unity. When you control the image, you control the narrative. 55 years later, the media still sanitizes Fred Hampton. They call him a controversial leader, not a prophet, not a revolutionary, not a murder victim, just controversial. They emphasize his youth and charisma, but avoid his Marxist politics. Avoid his anti-capitalist analysis. Avoid his call for revolution. They want a respectable martyr, not a dangerous revolutionary who was right about everything. Fred Hampton wasn't respectable. He was radical. He called for overthrowing capitalism. He advocated armed self-defense. He organized across racial lines to build working-class power. He rejected respectability politics. He refused to beg for rights. He demanded liberation by any means necessary. That's why he mattered. That's why he was dangerous. And that's why they killed him. Now, let me connect 1969 to 2024. Let me show you why Fred Hampton's assassination matters right now. Why this isn't just history. Why the same system that killed him is killing us today. Breonna Taylor. March 13, 2020. Louisville, Kentucky. Police conduct a no-knock raid on her apartment. She's sleeping in her bed with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. Police burst in after midnight. Kenneth thinks it's a home invasion. He fires one shot. Police fire 32 shots back. 6 hit Breonna. She dies in her hallway. Does this sound familiar? No-knock raid. Early morning. Sleeping targets. Massive police gunfire. One shot from the victim's side. Just like Fred Hampton. 51 years later. Same tactics. Same outcome. Same lack of accountability. No officers were charged with Breonna Taylor's death. One officer was charged with wanton endangerment for bullets that went into a neighbor's apartment. Not for killing Breonna, for endangering white neighbors. Her life had no legal value, just like Fred Hampton. George Floyd. May 24, 2020, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Killed by police officer Derek Chauvin, who kneeled on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. The whole world watched the video. Watched George say, "I can't breathe," 46 times. Watched him call for his mama. Watched him die slowly while bystanders begged police to stop. Philando Castile, July 6, 2016. Falcon Heights, Minnesota. Traffic stop. He tells the officer he has a legal firearm. He's reaching for his ID like the officer asked. Officer shoots him 7 times, kills him in front of his girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter. Officer acquitted. Tamir Rice, November 22nd, 2014, Cleveland, Ohio, 12 years old, playing with a toy gun in a park. Police arrive and shoot him within 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Didn't assess the situation. Didn't give commands. Didn't try to de-escalate. Just shot a 12-year-old child and killed him. No charges. Eric Garner, July 17, 2014, Staten Island, New York, suspected of selling loose cigarettes. Police put him in a chokehold. He says, "I can't breathe," 11 times. They keep choking him. He dies. It's on video. Officer not indicted, Sandra Bland, July 10, 2015, stopped for failing to signal a lane change. Officer escalates the situation, arrests her. 3 days later, she's found dead in her jail cell, ruled suicide. Her family doesn't believe it. Too many questions never answered. Ahmaud Arbery, February 23, 2020, Brunswick, Georgia. Jogging through a neighborhood. 2 white men chase him in a truck. They claim they think he's a burglar. They corner him. They shoot him. They kill him. They're not arrested until the video goes public months later. The pattern is identical. The FBI doesn't need COINTELPRO anymore. They don't need to infiltrate and assassinate specific leaders. They've militarized local police, given them qualified immunity, given them prosecutors who refuse to charge them, given them media that blames victims. They've made every black person a potential target. Any of us can be killed at any time, for any reason, with no accountability. Fred Hampton was killed for organizing revolution. George Floyd was killed for allegedly using a counterfeit $20 bill. The system doesn't need revolutionary leaders as an excuse anymore. Any black person, any time, any excuse. That's not progress from 1969. That's perfection of the system. And the infiltration continues too. Black Lives Matter organizers discovered FBI agents infiltrating protests in 2020. Same tactics as COINTELPRO, just updated. Social media monitoring instead of wiretaps. Facial recognition instead of physical surveillance. Predictive policing algorithms instead of informants. But the goal remains the same. Neutralize Black liberation movements before they gain real power. Ferguson activists who led protests after Michael Brown's killing in 2014. 6 of them died under mysterious circumstances within 4 years. Darren Seals shot in a burning car 2016. Edward Crawford shot ruled suicide 2017. Marshawn McCarroll shot ruled suicide 2016. Danny Jones found hanged ruled suicide 2018. DeAndre Joshua shot in burning car 2014. Bassem Masri died of apparent overdose 2018. 6 activists, all young, all outspoken, all prominent in Ferguson protests, all dead within 4 years, all ruled suicides or accidents, just like they called Fred Hampton's death a shootout. The pattern never ends. Now let's talk about the wealth gap. Fred Hampton was organizing economic justice. The Rainbow Coalition demanded jobs, housing, health care, and education for all poor people. They killed him before he could build it. And look at what we don't have 55 years later. Median wealth for white families in 2024 is $284,000. For black families, $44,100. The gap is 6.4 times. White families have more than 6 times the wealth of black families. If Fred Hampton had lived, the Rainbow Coalition might have passed universal health care. He was organizing free clinics, might have passed a jobs guarantee. He was demanding employment programs, might have achieved community control of police. He was building alternative security, might have won reparations. He was teaching class consciousness that connected slavery to modern poverty. But they killed him at 21. Killed the movement, killed the possibility. And now, 55 years later, you're still fighting for the same things he died demanding. That's not coincidence. That's cause and effect. Every dollar you don't have because you can't afford college, that's Fred Hampton's stolen legacy. Every medical bill bankrupting your family, that's the free clinic he died building. Every time police brutalize your community, that's the alternative security he was organizing. His assassination wasn't just about him. It was about preventing your liberation. And it worked. But now listen to me carefully. You are not victims of random violence. You are targets of systematic oppression. And there's a difference. Victims are powerless. Targets fight back. You are not struggling because you don't work hard enough. You are struggling because they killed the leaders who were building economic justice for you. Fred Hampton was building the programs that would have lifted your family out of poverty. They murdered him before he could finish. Your poverty is their theft. You are not paranoid when you don't trust police. You are educated. Your distrust is ancestral wisdom. Your grandmother watched police murder Fred Hampton. Your grandfather watched FBI destroy black liberation movements. They learned that police are not protectors, they're occupiers. That knowledge is in your DNA. You are not asking for handouts when you demand reparations. You are demanding payment for stolen labor, stolen land, stolen wealth, and stolen futures. They didn't just enslave your great-great-grandparents. They assassinated your leaders. They destroyed your businesses. They stole trillions of dollars. Reparations aren't charity. They're what's owed. The system wants you to think if you just work harder, you'll make it. That's a lie designed to keep you running on a treadmill going nowhere. Fred Hampton worked 20-hour days at age 20. They shot him in his sleep at 21. Hard work doesn't save you when the system is designed to kill you. The solution isn't individual success. It's collective power. It's organization. It's the same thing Fred knew. That's why they killed him. Because one successful black person doesn't threaten white supremacy. One black millionaire proves the system works. But organized, class-conscious, multiracial movements demanding redistribution of wealth that destroys the system. That's why Fred had to die. Now let me remind you who you come from. Fred Hampton was 21 years old when they murdered him. 21. Think about what he accomplished in 21 years of life. By age 18, he led the NAACP Youth Council with over 500 members. He negotiated with city officials and won community resources. By age 20, he was chairman of the Illinois Black Panther Party. He organized the free breakfast program, feeding thousands of children daily. He negotiated peace among Chicago's most violent gangs. He founded the Rainbow Coalition, uniting Black, Latino, and white poor communities across racial lines. He gave speeches to crowds of over 1,000 people. By age 21, the FBI considered him the greatest threat to American power. He built programs the government refused to provide. He united movements that decades of divide and conquer couldn't destroy. He became too dangerous to live. 21 years old. He accomplished more in 21 years than most people accomplish in 80. He wasn't superhuman. He was a young black man who saw injustice and refused to accept it, who studied revolutionary theory, who organized his community, who risked everything for liberation. And he's not unique. Your ancestors produced Huey Newton, who founded the Black Panthers at 24. Bobby Seale, who co-founded it at 29. Kathleen Cleaver, who became communications secretary at 22. Angela Davis on the FBI Most Wanted list at 26. Assata Shakur, who joined the Black Liberation Army at 24. These weren't superheroes. They were ordinary black people who refused to accept oppression, who organized, who fought, who risked everything. That's your lineage. That's your legacy. Fred Hampton is your ancestor, whether by blood or by spirit. You come from people who looked at the most powerful empire in history and said, no, we will be free or die trying. Many of them died, but they died fighting, not begging, not waiting for white people to grant them rights. Fighting for liberation. That strength is in you. That courage is in your DNA. That revolutionary spirit is your inheritance. You carry Fred Hampton's fire. You carry his mission. You carry his unfinished work. Fred Hampton was a Christian, raised in the church by his mother, Iberia. He knew the Bible. He quoted scripture. But he didn't believe in passive Christianity. He believed Jesus overturned tables in the temple. Jesus confronted Pharisees. Jesus challenged empire. Jesus was executed by the state for threatening power. Fred said the gospel demands justice, not just for souls, but for systems. Not just heaven later, but liberation now. He saw no contradiction between Christianity and revolution, because God is on the side of the oppressed. Always has been. Always will be. Your grandmother prayed you through slavery. Your grandfather survived this era. They watched young black leaders get assassinated on TV and in newspapers. They watched the government kill their prophets. They watched, and they learned to be quiet, to stay safe, to not make waves. That survival strategy kept them alive, but it also kept us oppressed. God preserved your bloodline through the Middle Passage, through slavery, through Reconstruction, through Jim Crow, through COINTELPRO, through mass incarceration, through everything they used to destroy you. Why? So you could stay silent, so you could accept injustice, so you could die poor and powerless. No, He preserved you to fight, to organize, to demand justice, to build the world Fred Hampton envisioned, to finish what he started. Fred didn't complete the Rainbow Coalition. He was murdered before it reached full power. But you're still here. The work isn't done. The mission isn't complete. The revolution isn't won. You are the continuation. You are Fred's unfinished business. You are the revolution he died building. Stop right here. If this truth is shaking you, I need you to do something right now. Comment Hampton below if you never learned about Fred Hampton in school, if they erased this from your education, if you're just now learning the FBI assassinated a 21-year-old revolutionary in his sleep. Comment Hampton. Let me see how many of you they kept in the dark. Comment. 21 years old. If you can't believe the FBI murdered a college student for feeding children, for organizing gang peace, for building multiracial coalitions, comment it. Let's count how many of us are waking up right now. Hit that like button if you're tired of the lies, tired of sanitized history, tired of textbooks that erase our revolutionaries. That like tells the algorithm this video matters. That like fights against suppression. Click it now. Share this video with one person who needs to know. Your cousin who doesn't understand why you don't trust police. Your nephew who thinks police brutality is new. Your church member who believes the system protects us. Send it now. Don't wait until the end, because here's what they're counting on. You'll watch this, feel angry, feel sad, feel motivated. Then you'll scroll to the next video and forget. That's how they win. They let you learn the truth, but never act on it. Don't let them win. Fred Hampton died so you could know this truth. Don't let his death be in vain. Engage now. Comment. Like. Share. Those 3 actions are revolutionary because they spread truth. And truth is the most dangerous weapon against oppression. If you made it to the end of this video, you're not here by accident. You were meant to know about Fred Hampton. You were meant to carry this truth. You were meant to do something with it. Subscribe to this channel right now. This is one story, one assassinated leader. We're exposing hundreds more. The revolutionaries they erased from textbooks. The programs they killed before they could change your life. The wealth they stole and never returned. The leaders they murdered and called it justice. If you don't subscribe, you'll miss it. And this knowledge is too important to miss. Your liberation depends on knowing your history. Click subscribe, turn on notifications, join this movement. Share this video everywhere. Text it to your family group chat. Post it on your Facebook. Send it to your church group. Share it with your co-workers. Show it to your children. Because schools won't teach this. The History Channel won't document this accurately. Netflix won't tell the full truth. You have to be the historian. You have to be the teacher. You have to be the keeper of truth. They erased Fred Hampton from textbooks for 50 years. They're still trying to erase him. Every share you make is a vote against erasure. Every view you generate is a blow against suppression. Every person you wake up is a soldier in the army of truth. Fred Hampton said you can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution. They killed him. They didn't kill the revolution. Because you're the revolution now. You're the continuation. You're Fred Hampton's unfinished business. Prove it. Subscribe. Share. Act now. Bow your heads with me. Father God, we come to you with hearts heavy and spirits on fire. We thank you for preserving the truth about Fred Hampton. We thank you that 55 years of lies couldn't erase him. We thank you that his story survived when they tried to bury it. We pray for Fred Hampton, for Mark Clark, for all the Black Panthers murdered by COINTELPRO, for every revolutionary assassinated before their time. Lord, vindicate them. Let their deaths not be in vain. Let their sacrifice produce the revolution they died building. We pray for Deborah Johnson Akuanjeri, who watched her love murdered in his sleep, who carried his son through unspeakable trauma, who kept telling the truth for 55 years. Lord, strengthen her, honor her, protect her. We pray for Fred Hampton Jr., born 1 month after his father's assassination, who never met his father, who carries his name and his mission. Lord, protect him. Let him finish what his father started. We pray for every person watching this video, for every person just learning this truth. Give them courage to carry it. Give them strength to share it. Give them wisdom to act on it. Don't let this be just information. Let it be transformation. Let it be mobilization. Let it be revolution. We pray for justice. Real justice. Declassification of all COINTELPRO files. Prosecution of those who ordered Fred's murder. Reparations for families of assassinated revolutionaries. And systematic dismantling of agencies that commit these crimes. We pray for awakening. For millions to learn what we just learned. For the scales to fall. For the lies to shatter. For truth to flood this nation like a mighty river. And Lord, we pray for ourselves. Give us the spirit of Fred Hampton. Bold, uncompromising, revolutionary. Willing to risk everything for liberation. Willing to organize across race. Willing to feed our communities. Willing to fight capitalism, racism, and imperialism until our last breath. Make us dangerous to every system of oppression. Make us ungovernable. Make us free. In Jesus' name, the first revolutionary, the liberator of the oppressed, the one who said, "The last shall be first," we pray. Amen. Fred Hampton said, "I am a revolutionary. They killed him for it. But the revolution doesn't die. It multiplies. Every person who learns this truth becomes a revolutionary. Every person who shares this video becomes a revolutionary. Every person who organizes their community becomes a revolutionary. You are Fred Hampton now. You are the 21-year-old prophet. You are the assassinated leader who refuses to stay dead. You are the revolution they can't kill. Walk in that power. Speak that truth. Build that coalition. Feed those children. Organize your people. Demand your freedom. They killed the revolutionary. You are the revolution. Power to the people. Until next time. Organize, agitate, educate, liberate,